Hello, and welcome to something a bit different today. A few of you have been asking me about books you can buy to help you with your exams, so I've put this together for the hope that it'll advise you. I know we're coming up for Christmas, so maybe a sociology book is exactly what you want, but I'm going to go through a few that I've actually read and worked with and give you some ideas of what might help you the best. All the prices that appear are what I googled on Amazon today, so they should be fairly up to date and accurate. Obviously other book suppliers are available and you can find the best deal for yourself. First up is the textbooks from Hodder. Now these were actually withdrawn due to some controversy over how part of it was written, and this made national news. So the version I have is out of date. I've been waiting for a new version all year, and apparently it's been out a while now, but I'm not sure about this. So the version I have was by Rosie Owens and Ian Woodfield here. The original textbook that Hodder made covers and follows the spec. It's really detailed. It has lots of different studies as well as the ones that you need to know. Now, I've not seen the new updated copy, so I don't know how much it differs. From what I could find, it appears to be written by someone else, so it may be a completely different book Hodder have released. One thing that I found from students was that it was difficult for them to know what was relevant and what was not. Although it mapped out the spec perfectly, they weren't always sure which studies to look at, and it didn't make clear which were the essential studies according to them. I actually think it's a really good textbook, but it's very big, and to revise from is probably not right. It's better for the last year or two of your course and to follow along as you go. That's what I would use it for. The accompanying revision guide to that textbook is here. For me, this is probably the top pick. It's a very reasonable price, it's really well presented, it's clear, and it's suitable for all your abilities. The only downside really, in my opinion, is there's not much challenge in it, and for the higher abilities it may not go far enough. What I like about it is not just the cost versus the quality, but the fact that you can read it and it may spark off what you remember from lessons and help you as you're revising closer to the exams. So I think this is a really strong contender for a lot of people. Next up we have these workbooks from Hodder. They are cheap, but I'm not convinced by them. Students that bought these themselves said they were fine and they really liked that they recapped all the topics, but they're just a set of questions, and the questions aren't exam based apart from the end of each chapter. So you've got an A4 page with various amounts of questions on and an arbitrary score, but there's no way of really checking those based on the books. So with me, if any of my students want to complete these, I'm happy to mark them, I'm happy to check them, but you may need a teacher's involvement here. In terms of a revision tool, I think they're a great addition, they're good for practice, but I wouldn't rely on these at all. That's based purely on student feedback and from what I've seen looking through them. These books from Collins, again, they cover the whole course and they can be bought as an all-in-one workbook and revision guide, which out of the options are better. I have seen them advertised separately, but I think as a revision guide with kind of questions that checks each chapter, as it were, these work really well for some of my pupils. When we bought some of these and they used them, they're better if you work through them over time. I wouldn't recommend these as a last minute cramming option, so I would start to use them over the last, if you're in year 11, get them now. If you're in year 9 or year 10, work through these as you work through the topics in class. Again, you may need teacher guidance because there's an element of answering questions on your own, so that's something that I'm always happy to do and happy to mark, but it's up to you. But I think these are strong contenders and they're worth looking at for a lot of people. Moving away now just from GCSE specific books, this book is expensive in some regards, you may think. The price has actually dropped by the looks of it. I'm sure I paid more than this, but it's the 5th edition of Ken Brown's An Introduction to Sociology. It's really well put together. It's really, the simple diagrams, the way everything is explained is very good. it covers everything and more for the exam. This is a lifetime book, really. If you're thinking of A level, definitely this is a great book to use for GCSE. I think it's really good for your ambitious, high ability learners, because you can bring in improved subject knowledge, but it does go way off the spec, obviously, because it's not meant to be for GCSE specifically. So you're going to have to be disciplined, or at least able to work out, okay, I've studied this in class, or this is new to me, and figure out what you need for the exam or not. But it is a massive book, and it may put some of you off if you get it and think, oh wow, there's way too much here. It's a book I don't sit and read. It's a book I pick bits out of and use as necessary, and I've only had it since it's come out, and I found it really, really useful. I wish when I was at university 15 years ago I had this book. It's it's an impressive text. This last book is the Sociology book. It's part of a wider series, so you may have seen it for other topics and other subjects. It's dropped in price again, so it's now down to £12.59. If you like things laid out visually, it's a really good book. It's very colourful, lots of big diagrams, and the text is really good short summaries of different sociologists and different perspectives. It's good for your general knowledge, and it will challenge you for GCSE. It's not specific to the specification in any way though, so there's no exam focus here. But if you like something that's going to boost your knowledge for lessons and homework and going even further, it's really good. I hope you found this video useful. I've tried to avoid countdown styles because the books are so different, and try and offer you as much insight so you can make an informed choice for what suits you as a learner. Any questions, leave them in the comments below. Any topics I've not covered or you'd like me to cover, please let me know. Thank you for listening again.